Hi Taurus, welcome to your fortnightly check-in with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Taurus, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for this, remember these are purely tarot. There's no astrology or anything like that in these, so watch them for your sun, your moon and your ascendant so that you know which part of you I as a reader resonate with. All right, so for your cross purposes over the next fortnight, what is potentially getting in the way that you might need to know or be aware of over the course of this next fortnight? So let's give it one more. All right, for this you have the Judgment card, right? So this basically suggests, I'm going to say that word that all Taurus dislikes, all Taurians dislike, should I say, change, right? This does suggest that for a lot of you Taurus, my bull gang, you guys know I love you. It looks like you're reaching not necessarily an impasse, but you're reaching a fork in the road this fortnight. Okay, there's some sort of crossroads that shows up for you and you are going to have to work quite hard to figure out which way to go. The reason being is because you're going to be presented with something new this week, or this fortnight should I say, and it gives you the opportunity to really advance or get ahead, but you're having to go in a completely different direction that maybe you don't understand or maybe you don't feel like you have the skill set for. Or you can stay the same and be dragged sort of kicking and screaming at some point. That's one way that you could look at this. Another way that this potentially shows up, and especially for you guys, because Venus is going to go retrograde this week, and Venus is your ruling planet. I know I said no astrology, but I can't help myself. But, you know, sometimes when the cards echo the astrology, you have to kind of see it, right? Now, the reason I say this is because the Judgment card can represent the blast from the past. Some big person, thing, place, situation, etc. comes back into your world and it potentially turns things upside down. Usually, if this is a partner, it's just about resolution rather than reconnection. And I have to stress this. A lot of readers, you know, no disrespect to anybody, everyone's got their own way, but I see a lot of readers talking about, oh, you know, this is a reconnection, when the Judgment card comes up and it's like, no, it's for assimilation and reconsideration for sure, and maybe even, you know, reconciliation, but it's not necessarily for reconnection. If you've parted ways with somebody, you've parted ways with them for a reason, right? You may have gone as far as you can go with that person. So this is something that I always like people to consider with the Judgment card. That's on the macrocosmic level with what the energies are giving you. On a microcosmic level, you've got this with the Judgment, with the Queen of Cups. So on a sort of experiential level, this is about you tapping into what feels right to you in that emotional space and sphere. It also suggests as well, and I'm sorry to say this, I love you guys deeply and drama is not something that you guys do a lot of. But one thing I do want you to watch out for this fortnight, whether this is you doing it or somebody doing it for you, emotional manipulation, right? It looks like you've made a very strong decision or you're sticking to your guns on a certain choice, and this may, you know, or maybe somebody else is and you're trying to emotionally manipulate them into doing what you want. Be careful with that because it will come back to bite you in the arse. And, you know, the same vice versa. If you can feel somebody pulling on the heartstrings, etc., it's important that you find a way to kind of say, no, this isn't happening, all right? For your actions and interactions with the world at large, you've got the Knight of Cups. So you're diving into life this fortnight, which is great, with the Star card. So potentially a lot of you are meeting somebody online. Maybe you're connecting with somebody online, and it's definitely got something to do with love, partnership, sex, sensuality. So if you are single, right, because two knights represents intimacy. If you're single, this is the fortnight. You are definitely meeting someone, connecting with someone. Remember, Venus is going retrograde, so you just take it slow. It doesn't mean that you say no. It just means that you take it slow to get to know. All right. You don't just jump straight in. If you're already partnered and in a relationship, this could be a reconnection with your partner in a way that kind of reignites the spark, the passion, all of that. So this could be really nice. And, you know, I love this because it looks like there's a lot of sexy time ahead for the Taurians among us. Now, in terms of your actions, because you've got the star card here, a lot of what you're doing at the moment is future orientated. You're very focused on what comes next, what you want to do next, what you may need to do next, all of that. It's like you're really very serious about a lot of your plans, but you're having fun along the way. For your career and communications, you've got the Ace of Wands. So this is going to be a powerfully creative fortnight with the Page of Pentacles. Right, I love this because, and then you've got the King of Wands. All right, so for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this is some idea or personal project that you've been working on, and in fact maybe this is one of your assignments. So you're just busy beavering away, working on what you need to work on. You know, you hand it in. Maybe one of your lecturers, teachers, etc. comes to you and says, look, you know what, this is one of the best examples we've ever had, and we would like to share it with the class or with the year. That is visibility that you can't buy. And for those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, same kind of thing. There's something that you've done, something that you've created, something that you have envisioned or brought into the world is really catching people's eye or attention, and they're loving you for it. You can't buy visibility like this. It's natural, it's organic, and people are loving what you're doing. So this is one of those times not to be, you know, a typical Taurus, which is like, oh, you know, I don't want the limelight or any of that. Like, this is one of those times, fucking get out there and shine, damn it. Right? Like, when the energy is this good, let it happen. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, I love this because this is the same kind of energy, but the way that this works differently for you guys, this could be a project that you have been invited to, or maybe something that you've just been doing because you feel sort of, you know what, yeah, I like doing this part of the job, or I really enjoy this bit. And what for you feels just like normal work could be like this really powerfully creative idea that your company ends up implementing. Let yourself be congratulated for it, because eventually it will turn into that stuff that you love most. All right. No, you know what I mean. Come on. I can say this to my Taurus people. Anyway, for your, for those of you that are, oh, come on, brain. Yeah, for those of you that are retired and no longer working, this is just like the biggest, for all of you in some way, shape or form, but you guys probably more so because you've got more time to access it. This is like a massive creative binge. Like, this is downloads and fun and creativity and artistry and sensuality. It's just creativity on, like, dialed up to an 11, right? Now, a King of Wands or a fire sign male for a fire sign person, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, could feature for this. For your love and relations, you've got the 10 of Wands. You got the 10 of Swords. Okay. And you got the 4 of Cups. Look, you got 2 10s here. 2 10s represents change. And so I'm going to start with those of you that are partnered or married. If you're partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, there is a change coming to the relationship this fortnight. And it is going to be one that will need some careful navigation, especially because there's a lot of emotions involved. And quite frankly, I feel like even if everything else has been on point for a lot of you, maybe there hasn't been the emotional connection, or maybe you've been in an emotional rut where it's like you feel like you just constantly rub each other the wrong way. Maybe communication has been all over the place for a while. Now, for a select few of you, if you know that I'm talking to you, this does have the potential to be a relationship breaker, all right? If your relationship is not in that space, it does suggest that you and your partner can get back to some kind of emotional reconnection. But it does suggest that something will need to change or shift in order for that to be cemented. For those of you that are single, This is like once you pop, you can't stop, right? That's the old Pringles saying, but this kind of feels like that to me. It's like sorry, I can't help myself. So you got these two nights with intimacy, and then you've got these two tens for change, right? But with the four of cups, it's like once you pop the seal, you're just not going to be able to stop. There are options here available to you. They are two difficult tens, I have to be honest. So it does suggest that maybe a connection that you have with somebody as a single Taurus, maybe you meet someone, maybe you have a conversation, it's like a fun interaction of sorts, but you're just kind of like, no, you know what? It's not you, but this person kind of greases the wheels for you, and they get you to see that you've been in some kind of like distant emotional funk. And by snapping out of that, it leaves you kind of like, okay, yeah, you know what? I think I'm ready to do this dating thing. So that could be really cool. And then finally, for your money and materials, you've got the Five of Swords with the Sun card. I love this. And the Four of Pentacles. So you've got two fours here as well. So lots of double ups this fortnight. The same thing happened for Aries as well. So two fours represents insomnia. So watch out for that. Or maybe you're not getting any sleep because you're not getting any sleep. And that's those 2 nights in action, right? Literally. Behave yourself, Raph. So then you've got the Five of Swords with the Sun card. I love this because there's some kind of financial negotiation here that leads to much more open conversations around money, but it leads to much more financial security for you. So this is a boost to the finances that comes over time, which is something that you do very well anyway. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, for those of you that have had problems with your body, specifically like I'm not a doctor, can't give you medical advice, that's not what this is, but if you've had problems with your liver or your gallbladder, if you've had problems with your nervous system or your back, this fortnight you could actually get some answers, or you could connect with somebody who actually helps you sort of bring your body more into some kind of sense of alignment. And then when it comes to your home and environment, I like this actually. For those of you that are partnered, I do see that there's going to be a blowout this month, this fortnight, but it will be one that really does clear the air, and it is actually needed. All right, there's going to be a bit of a head-to-head, but it will lead to a heart-to-heart. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic fortnight, and let me know in the comments how it shapes out. Take care, and I'll see you soon.